want to be able to pay the cash. And then when they close on the house, then they'll do the mortgage at a nice, normal pace. Now you're probably asking, but Tam, what if my buyers are not sitting on a pile of cash? Great question. So the source of this cash can come from anywhere legal. It has to be legal. Sources of cash can come from Bank of Mom and Dad. That's a popular one. Can come from your employer. Employers could give you a pile of cash to put down to pay for this house. It can come from an investment account. It can also come from a home equity line of credit on an investment property or a second home. But now, what if you are these poor souls who do not have a Bank of Mom and Dad? I do not have a Bank of Mom and Dad. My favorite, it can come from hard money or private money sources. They're out there. The point is, there are short-term loan products out there. Even if you borrow from your stocks, bonds, mutual funds, you can borrow the money from these short-term places and pay yourself back without penalty. So times are tough, my friends. We need to get creative. And so we need to figure out how to help our buyers come up with the cash so we can compete in this multiple offer situation. So cash, cash, cash. Cash is not king in mortgage world, but cash is king in real estate. So happy selling. If you have any questions about this cool product, please do not hesitate. This week, I will be doing my live videos. I'll be talking about PMI, backed by popular demand. I'll be talking about, should I buy now or should I just wait until this crazy frenzy is over? I'll be talking about that. And also just want to note on interest rates. I don't talk about interest rates, but interest rates are still historically lower than they've been historically. This time last year, we were all falling all over ourselves for this rate. So my take on this is it's all perspective. So no, the rates are not 2.25 right now, but they're still amazing. So be positive when you talk about interest rates. That's it, guys. Happy Tuesday. Love you.
Awesome. Thanks, Tam. I have to say, Tammy, always informative, great information. And I have to say, guys, have you noticed the flair? The flair with which Tammy is presenting is increasing. You know, I wouldn't be surprised when Broadway opens again. Tammy is going to be taking it on the road. It's awesome.
I would crack mirrors if I sang that whole song.
Thank you, Tammy. Awesome stuff. All right, guys, we're going to move on to our spotlight agent today. We're thrilled. We're going to be doing a whole series of brand new agents that have come to the KW family in our world, of course, not KW in general, in our world. And today we're thrilled to have Jane Late with us. Jane just joined the Ridgefield Market Center. Jane, are you here? There you are. Just unmute yourself. There you go. Getting there. Down below, bottom left. There you go.
There. I had to look for it. I'm not used to that. Okay. I'm good. Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Jane. Thanks for being with us. So Jane recently joined the Ridgefield Market Center. What I know of Jane is that she has a very impressive background in real estate. I believe, Jane, correct me if I'm wrong, but most recently Ravis for 9 years, and before that Prudential for 5 years?
Almost 8, and I was at Prudential before it became Berkshire. I left about a month before it became Berkshire.
Gotcha. Okay, great. And most of that time has been in the Wilton area, right?
It has, but what has ended up happening is I meet people at open houses or however, and they want Wilton, and then they can't find something or the price is too high, and so we explore other areas, and I've done a lot in Ridgefield.
Okay, great. Now I know you have built quite a massive buyer business, right? You're doing open houses and things. Your personable nature has connected with people when you're doing open houses, so your buyer's business has grown tremendously. And we'll talk more about that. But just give us a brief background of Jane. I know you're originally from Memphis. I love Nashville. I don't really know Memphis, but I love Nashville.
Well,
So
Nashville's a better town. It's smaller, it's more intimate. It has hills. It's the capital. It has Hollywood. Memphis is. I haven't lived there in so long. I'd go there to see my family. I have a large family, and many of them are still there. And it's just a different kind of town because it sits on Mississippi, and it's near Arkansas and Mississippi.
okay, so tell us about that. So that's your roots are from there, and then you've moved around a bit and have been on
I
the
have.
Coast for a long time.
Once I got out of college, I went to school at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, and I was at UT for a short time in Knoxville, Tennessee, but I transferred to be with a boyfriend, and my family let me. I couldn't believe it, but I can do that. So after Texas, I lived in Austin. I didn't put that in there. I forgot to tell you. I lived in Austin for about a year and a half after I got out of college. This was in the 70s. And I love that town. Many times I wonder, I love New England, and I've lived up here for over about 40, 45 years. And Austin, sometimes I wonder why I ever left. I liked it so much. I really did. It was just great. And I've only been back once. I was there for a Thanksgiving with a friend who had family there in golly, about 17 years ago.
Wow.
And it was in the hill country, a town called Cuero, if you've ever heard of it.
No, but you know what? We'll be going back. We'll be going back to Austin, hopefully, baby.
I look forward to that. I would like to go to Austin.
Come with us.
So then I moved to, I went to New York City on a high school trip. I went to a girls' private school. I went to, I always said, God, New York is something else. If I ever, one of these days I may just move here. So after Austin, when that changed, I'm single. I moved to New York City by myself at 23, and I love New York. I really do, and I lived there for a little over 5 years. And then,
Awesome.
Tell
us a little bit. Tell us. I was intrigued with the Maine. Tell us briefly a little bit about the Maine story, because that's kind of cool.
I will. Okay, so after I got out of college, I was living in Austin, and this boyfriend and I decided to take a big trip. And so we had a van. I didn't put this in my bio. And we toured New England. That's the first time I'd ever really explored it. That's why I live here. And I just love New England. And we explored it in Canada. And we had we bought a canoe, and I went down the Allagash River with him. And we managed to talk some friends from Memphis into coming up. And y'all don't know this, but the Allagash River is the only river in the US that flows north. Isn't that weird? Huh?
Cool.
Who knew that? And so we had to get permission from the paper companies to camp on their property in the far north, way up, like way above, above Bangor. We were up around, I can't remember the towns, but way up there. And so I just loved Maine. So flash forward, I lived in California after Austin. After New York, and then I was married, and then we came back east, and we lived in Boston. And I shouldn't say anything, but I'm not a fan. It just wasn't. It didn't. Timing is everything, and it just wasn't right. I was not in college, and I have an accent, and I don't know. I like New York was just so much better. But anyway, but Boston's close to everything. It's close to Portland, and the Berkshires, and my sister lives in Greenwich for a million years, and it's just this close. So I said, to my husband, I love Maine, and so we explored Maine, and wouldn't you know it, he went to Bowdoin. So it was just, how things go.
Sure.
So we were exploring, and I got this real estate guy's card in a small town called Lovell, Maine. It sits on Keyser Lake, and Keyser Lake is in National Geo is one of the top 10 lakes and cleanest lakes in the U.S. And it's just idyllic. It's at the base of the White Mountains, but it's in Maine.
Cool.
So, golly, it was probably almost 10 years after I got that guy's card and lost it. He called me.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah, his mother owned a small real estate company in that area, and he was in it and out of it, and then he went back into it. So he got his card file, and he called me, and I said, "Oh no, we can't afford a second house," And he says, "Well, you ought to just come look at it." Well, within that week, I didn't tell you this. My husband's mother had died. Well, she died 6 months prior, but we got some money from her, separate, divided among the children, his
Right.
siblings. And so we bought a small cabin, and I bought it sight unseen. My husband went up there, and we bought it. We renovated it, and we had 5 acres, and it was right at the north end. And one of my neighbors was Stephen King. I left that out too.
Yeah, you did. That's awesome. Did he lead you to the general store, or how did that happen?
No, the general store. Well, I like to cook, and everybody likes fresh food, and the general store was pathetic. I mean, really, just between the, things just weren't fresh, and it was gross, and so it was around, I don't know, 3,500 square feet, and within a 4 or 5 years, we decided to buy it.
That's awesome.
And we expanded it. And upstairs, I had my gift shop, but we ended up catering. There's a lot of I can tell you anything you want to know about a lobster. How to tell a male from a female.
This is all before real estate, Jane?
Beg your pardon?
This is all before real estate.
Oh yeah. I didn't get. Yeah, this is in the 90s. The Texas and New York was the 70s. LA was the 80s, kind of, and the Bay Area, mostly the Bay Area, and then I moved to the Connecticut in 86.
So then you jumped into real estate, right? In Wilton.
No, not till 04.
Okay.
No, I had children to raise. I had children in the late 80s.
Got it. So recently, I mean, you've made a move, obviously, and tell us a little bit about that and what your hopes are, bringing your business over to Keller Williams. You told me a little bit about what you're looking to do initially.
Well, I need to list more. I think the hard part about real estate for me is not doing the business. I feel confident with that. I'm good at it. I get to that closing table best I can. I do pretty good at that. But I just can't put my hands on those on sellers, on listers. I don't know. I don't market myself good enough, so
Gotcha.
well enough. So I just think Keller, has a lot of experience. I'm impressed by your technology, and Dan's been very helpful, and I know this area, and even though in Wilton, I know the Tri-Town area very well.
Sure.
Haven't lived here since 86. I've been in the same house since 86 as well.
Wow.
It's been renovated. It's an antique. And so that's mostly what my goal is to do that, and just expand, just learn more stuff in general,
Right. Yeah. So I think you're going to be marketing yourself, right? Which is what's necessary for you, right? I mean, that's really, we're an agent-centric, company and philosophy that we're focused on you and the brand of Jane Lade. Mm-hmm. And I know you've been talking to Dan often and a lot, on this path of transitioning over. And I know you guys are going to be meeting to really focus on that and really get that up and running for you. And you've got a great base of buyers. You could tap into all those buyers, that database. So you got to be using Command to do that. Well,
Dan introduced me to your coaching program back in late January, early February. And I found it to be very helpful just for the few weeks I dealt with one of your coaches down in St. Louis.
Great. Awesome. Yeah. That one of the MAPS coaches, right? And you got exposure to Command too, right?
Not yet. Well,
okay.
Maybe inadvertently, but I haven't really, no hands-on yet in that.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Well, we're thrilled to have you, Jane. Does anybody have any questions for Jane, or anybody want to reach out to Jane? I know, Jane, look at the chat box because people have been welcoming you.
And I was busy looking at you, but is the chat box available later or not really?
Yes, it is.
It is, because I didn't see any of it.
Yeah, we could definitely show it to you later. But nice, everybody's welcoming you and wishing you the best. And it's time to really explode that listing side of your business.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Well, thank you. And we look forward to seeing more of you. Thanks, Jane. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great day. Make it a great day. Give me a wave goodbye. See you guys. Bye.